movies for black girl nerds.
Terri Vaughn, I am so excited to talk to you. I'm such an admirer of yours. I'm an admirer of your comedy, of your timing, and now it's exciting to see you taking on another role as director of this lovely film. Before we get into talking about directing Unthinkably Good Things, when you think about the unthinkably good things in your own life, what comes to mind?
My kids, of course, my husband, my home. I'm a homebody. I love being at home. It's peaceful, it's loving. I still have my grandmother. She's 92 and get to
Amen.
spend time with her, and my mom is healthy. So I have like some unthinkably really great things in my life, beyond my career. And then, of course, my career, which I love as well.
Mhm,
I have
mhm.
a really great life. I cannot complain. Not that it doesn't, you know, have all the drama and letdowns as anyone else, but I'm very thankful.
Well, I'm thankful too. I love the way you said that. It is a blessing. My mom is 90 also. And so you have grandma and mom and just all this wealth, and it shapes you into bringing all that love into this very loving story about
Absolutely.
sisterhood, about reconnecting romantically with a partner, finding something new. This film was shot entirely over in Italy, which has its own, you know, uh, daunting tasks that come along with it. In addition to being a director, how was the experience? How was it shooting over there and having tons of crew and people who may not even speak English, but you managed to make it
Yes.
work?
Oh yeah, we had all of that. Just making a movie itself is always full of mishaps, and there's always fires to put out and things to do. So we have the normal, on set happenings and dramas that come along with making a movie, but then add on top of that, like you said, being in a totally different country, speaking a totally different language than more than half of the crew. That was very challenging. It definitely was. But I think that everyone involved, we all had the same goal. We wanted to make a beautiful movie. And I loved working with the Italians there because they give us the energy, and they know the landscaping and all of that. So I was sucking up everything from them while still trying to make them, understand what I need them to give to me. And it was like it was a love affair. It was a definitely a struggle, but again, just all of our hearts went in pure, of wanting to make a beautiful movie. And we all knew we were making a movie that really mattered, that was going to be impactful in so many ways. It was something new and different for Hallmark, and they took a chance on us and said yes. And we wanted to make sure that we delivered for our exec over at Hallmark, Tony Judkins. We wanted to make sure that what we put in the can for her, that she was going to be able to be proud of what she had. So that was really important for us.
Fit walking away from it after watching it, it really made me feel good for a lot of reasons. Finding people finding their way later in life, which is something I could definitely relate to,
Yeah.
sisterhood, relationship, just food, beautiful
Yeah.
clothes, all of those things. And when I talked to a couple of your stars, I talked to Joyful earlier, and I also talked to Lance. And what they said about you was being you were really like, how did they phrase it? It was so beautiful. It was like you were made for them because you come from an acting background and now assuming another role, and they really really felt this kind of connection and really wanted to work well for you. I can't remember the exact phrasing, but it was very beautiful and very touching. So now, what did you carry from your acting career into directing that you made sure you wanted to excel at, make your performers feel comfortable? What did you want to bring into that role that you've learned from your past?
So That's the thing. This is why I love directing so much, is because I love actors so much, because I know our process. I know what we do to create these characters and show up, no matter what's going on in our lives, we still have to show up and play these characters and give these and make people laugh or make people cry or make people feel something, even if in our life we're not there. But we manipulate our instrument, which is our body, our mind, our spirit. We manipulate that for the sake of the craft so we can give you real live characters. And I know that going in. So the amount of respect that I have for actors is, it's off the charts. And I feel very protective of actors. I'm very protective of their space, giving them their space, their time, making sure that they're being honored and not just hit your mark and say your line and no, just say it anyway. I'm not that kind of director. It's like I know they want to feel what they're saying. So
Mhm.
I try to protect them so they can feel what they're saying and they never feel like they are just showing up saying words or
Mhm.
being rushed or none of that.
I think they said it's something like an actor's director, but I don't want to say it wrong, but it was so sweet and it was clear that the chemistry, the comfortability, and this really was an enjoyable experience for them, and it shows on the screen with
Mhm.
these ladies also in that feeling good with the film is seeing something different. I mean, they have their challenges and journey that they're on, but it was just such a lightheartedness too, and it was just refreshing to see something that wasn't just overrun with trauma or black women suffering, and they were having challenges but in a good way, in a growth sort of way.
In a
So
normal way, right? That
exactly.
any human being as normal. And that
Mhm.
was very important to me too in telling this story is, the media is so strong and people have perceptions of what other people are like based on what they see and what they hear being fed to them through the airwaves, through
Mhm.
media. So it was important to me, like what you just said. It's like, yeah, we have struggles and we have all those things, but it's not to the detriment of us. We're not like, oh, it's like we have normal, we argue with our husbands, our kids get on our nerves. We get indecisive about where we want to go in our careers, and we have normal, impactful things that everyone cares about in their lives. And I'm so happy that we get to tell it through the story, through the lens of these Black women, so that we can put this in the media airwaves. Like this is who we are. This is how we deal with our issues. We're not always the strong Black women that can take everything all the time and carrying that. That's not who we are. We don't want to do that shit. Can I say shit on your?
You sure can.
We don't want to do that. It's like that is not who we are. We stand up and we do what we need to do to get by, but we still have the same feelings, the same emotions, the same things that any other human being would have.
Absolutely. And lastly, just the overwhelming, just your point of view and your eye. It's just a really, really beautiful film. You know, the Italian landscape, of course, Italian Italy is very, very
Yeah.
beautiful, but just how everyone looked and felt and brought their best effort forward. Once it was all said and done and this beautiful experience was over, how long did it take to shoot the film? And what did you guys do on that very last day before it was going into the can?
We shot, it was a 3-week shoot, 5-day weeks. So it was 15 days. We ended up adding one more day because of some technical stuff of one of the locations we were shooting at. And on that very last day, it's always a big emotional thing for me, at least. It's very emotional because you go into this, it's almost like you're going to war with this crew of people that you don't know, and you become a family because you guys all have the same goal. Everybody's fighting to get this win, but everybody is different. everybody, comes from a different background. I have different gifts to give. Somebody else has different gifts. So it's all of us mushing all of our stuff together, and you become a family. You argue, you fight, you cry, you make up, you keep going, and you get to the end. Because I feel like as a director, I keep the energy light and peaceful no matter what's going on in set. I take things aside. I never have a big blow up I would never do that. So at the end, all the stuff that I've been like tempering and keeping down and keeping my cool, and it all comes to a head and it just flows out. The gratitude, the emotions, all of it. So I just had a big cry fest and just, lavished all these words on my crew and on my actors, just about the amazing experience that we had just finished doing and how much it mattered. And I also made it a point, because it was what I was feeling through the whole shoot, that this was a project that was completely led by Black women, right? The producers were Black. Our exec from Hallmark was Black woman. Our producers are Black women. The writer was a Black woman. The director is a Black woman. And our lead characters are 3 Black women. And, sometimes being in that space, we always feel like we have to prove ourselves. We have to, because people are talking over you, or they just don't, they're not used to seeing us in these positions. So they feel like they know better and they can like guide us in their way. And so there were several times through the shoot, we had to, stand our ground. Like, nope, this is what I want. This is what I mean. This is, listen to me, repeat back what I just said.
Mhm.
So it was a lot of that throughout the shoot. And then at the end, I had to tell them just how fortunate all of us were that we got to make this project with Black women at the head. Because when you got a Black woman at the head of stuff, you have there's so much compassion in the space. The energy is compassionate, it's loving, it's protective, it's it's we're going to protect you, we're going to cover you, we're going to fight for you, and we're going to give you something beautiful, because that's how our hearts breathe, that's how we beat. And so you guys just got to experience what people mean when they say Black girl magic. It's like, we're never going to let you go. We'll hold this whole project up, because that's what we do. And we do it in such a beautiful, loving way. And you guys got to experience that. And it was
Amen.
just a really emotional night.
Oh, I really loved it. It made me just feel so good. It was so nice to watch a film with us that made me feel good from the beginning,
Yeah.
even through the trials. Like, ooh, what is she gonna
Yeah.
decide? What's gonna
Yeah.
happen? And that is really life. And it made me, I'm gonna call my homegirls later on because it's Friday. People should be off from work. And so we have to
Yeah.
get together on Zoom and
So
shoot,
important.
have us a little party and watch it together because I
That's
really
right.
enjoyed it. Well, Terri, thank you for your time. You are incredible. This was a
Thank you.
beautiful film. You did a beautiful job, as did the cast. And I appreciate you talking to me.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Take care.
All righty. Bye-bye.
Bye bye. I really like films like this because it further expands on Black women are not monolith. We have different things and goals and expectations for our life. Before we talk about your character, Melina, and what she's experiencing, this is directed by the lovely Terri Vaughn. I'm such a fan of hers and her comedy and what I've known her before, and now she's transitioned into this director role. Tell me about working with Terri Vaughn.
I love Terry. Love her. Like, I think you get a glimpse of who she is, when you see her in some of her comedic roles and whatnot. But first of all, she's a Libra, like me. So she loves hard. And, to see her command this ship in another country with an entire Italian crew who was often speaking different languages, or a different language, while she's trying to, manage the actors and get the shots and make sure everyone feels comfortable. Like, this is not the last time you'll be seeing her. She is an actor's dream director, and her heart is just so big. So I trust her completely with my art. And I think as an actor, that is like one of the highest compliments you can pay anyone. So she really brought this film to the level of something that Hallmark and Mahogany, obviously, but Hallmark has never seen before.
That is wonderful. It was joyous to see all of you together. Your character Melina, she's at a stage in her life where they're all on their respective journeys, but her in particular, she's experienced some difficulties, some health difficulties, and now is trying to reconnect with that sort of inner flame, things that bring her joy, things dreams that may have been deferred. When you think of Melina and where she's at in her current life, how would you describe this stage in her life? Because she seems very appreciative for what
Mhm.
she has, but she has experienced some challenges that led her to that point.
Yeah, I think Melina is scared. I think she is fearful. I think that she's in brand new territory, so to say. And if you're treading water, the water was a little too deep for her. So she is not really sure how to tread anymore or which way to move. I know she's very grateful and thankful for her girlfriends and her health, but I just think that it was a traumatizing thing that she went through health wise at a pretty fairly young age. Something that, I guess you could say the pandemic, right, knocked people off their feet, and it made you reevaluate how you wanted to move forward, number one, and number two, if you would move forward. And I think she's at a point where she has to make a decision about what her life is going to look like, and also the challenges of work and things like that. But that takes faith, and her faith is being tested.
Mhm. As during this journey with her faith, she connects with other people. They go on a journey and they visit their other girlfriend in Italy and get to experience new things, and kind of almost like she finds herself being reborn there,
Yeah.
and in the journey that she experiences there. Is it a rebirth of an inner spark? Is it a rebirth of her as a whole new person? What is the flame, do you think, that's reignited in her during that time, that special time?
Well, I think for Melina, the rebirth is giving herself permission to not always trying to control the situation or control the outcome, and and just stepping out on faith a little bit more, or getting out of her box. And I think being around her girlfriends helped her remember who she was. Like the beautiful thing about a child is they come here with no fears, no
Mhm.
expectations. They could be happy, while you're cooking or watching a show. Like they don't need much. Their joy comes from within. And I think as we grow, especially, into adulthood and whatnot, you can't wait till you're 21, right? Until it gets really real. And I think that as we grow, life can harden us in a way when things don't really go the way that we, saw it in our mind. And I think in her case, that's what happened, and it stifled her. And I think she's searching for freedom. She's searching for, that moment where she can just exhale and enjoy that slice and piece of life that's present, like right before her, instead of worrying or waiting for the other shoe to drop, because her hurdle and dealing with her health issues has given her a lot of anxiety, and anxiety that she thought she can handle, but you clearly see it kind of, revving up in the movie. And, luckily she has her girlfriends to kind of sit down and pull her out of it. And I think us as Black women, we're so strong, and we don't like to show our cracks, or we don't like to show, our weaknesses. And sometimes it's not a weakness, but that's what friends and sisters are for, to pick you up and to tell you, girl, you've got this,
Mhm.
speak some reality into your world, as opposed to, you just thinking you have to carry everything on your back.
Mhm. I with that and having those girlfriends, what I enjoyed about the chemistry between the three of you is you all sort of take turns being the truth sayer. You know, there's not just a pigeonhole that your character is this and this character is this. You all, it's almost like a beautiful ecosystem of love and support. Do you more reflected of real life? Because so often it's always people are pigeonholed into a certain role. So do you think these ladies are more reflective of your own life and interactions with your girlfriends when you think
Oh,
about them?
definitely, definitely. I'm one of four girls, so I have three sisters. And if your friend doesn't tell you the truth, or your sister doesn't tell you the truth when you need it the most, no matter how hard that truth may be, like, are they really being your friend, or are they just pacifying you in that moment? And the great thing about this story, written by Cass, is that she didn't pigeonhole these characters, because that's the one thing Black women, we are not pigeonholed into acting a certain way all the
Hmm.
time. We, are strong, we're resilient, we can adapt. We can be the mom, we can be the aunt. Sometimes we have to be the father. Like, we can be all of these things. No shade to the men out there at all, because sometimes they have to be the mom. Like, my husband's combing my daughter's hair while I'm here in Atlanta right now. He's pulling those duties. But at the end of the day, if someone's not going to tell you the truth, then how can you grow? Like, you need someone, and we all do, to call us out when we're headed down the wrong road. And I like that these characters and this friendship mirrors what I have with my sisters. And sometimes we might get angry or mad and not talk to each other for a few hours or a day, but the testament of our love for each other is that we always come back together.
Amen. Amen. Now,
Mhm.
your Melina is a chef,
Yes.
and part of her journey is, tapping into those inner talents. And for folks who have watched the film, will find out why. So, but
Mhm.
confidently, what can Joyful throw down in the kitchen right now? If we, all the ingredients are available, you don't have
Okay.
to pull out a book. What can you confidently throw down with right now?
I make this very good shrimp pasta. It's in a white wine, garlic, and butter sauce with fresh spinach and parmesan and mushrooms, and then fresh diced tomatoes on top. Like, it's a and I cook everything separately. And then when it's time to serve, I sauce it up in the pan. So all the flavors kind of blend together. And I was just visiting my mom in Wisconsin, and I made it for them. And my stepdad went out and bought more. Like, the next day, it was like, "You can make that again. You can make that."
Well,
It's just
send us some too. We like, I got a nice set of Tupperware in the kitchen, that is ready for the pasta to be put in there. I am here for it. Lastly, I love that all of these women it was light, and even though they're experiencing thing, it made me happy to see these women. I didn't feel all overwrought with trauma, and
Mhm.
they have challenges as we all do, but sometimes the imaging of Black women in film, it's just so overwhelmingly just, oh, so woe is me, so woe is me, and things
Mhm.
happen to us. But it's beautiful to see a film. We want to be lighthearted too. We want to
Yeah.
do varieties of roles too. So with this project now complete, how did it leave you feeling, and what will you be doing as you await the world to see it?
I felt, no pun intended, or ironically, like my character in the movie, Melina, who got her mojo back. Because you have to understand, like, I was locked in the house, quarantined because I had a baby. My baby was 6 months when everything, got shut down. So to go to Italy was a big step for me, and I think they were at the height of numbers again. And I stepped out on faith and I said, God, because we can't wear masks because we're filming, the crew and
Mm-hmm.
everyone did. And I was like, God, protect me. Like, I'm here for the right reasons. So I feel like for me, like, doing that was just such an important step in me heading, to the road and up the road that I am headed to now. And it was so fun. It just rejuvenated my spirit. And we all, like, you saw, but they'll see, we like each other. We all like each other and we get along. And when we see each other, it's like, oh, I missed you and I hate to see you go. And to bring all of these Black women together in this foreign country was so special. And I'm talking about from the top down, from my soror, Wanya, the CEO of, Crown Media, to Tony Judkins, to the producers, Corinne and Monique, and the cast and the crew. It was really a labor of love. I was so blessed to be on a part of this. And I just know we're going to have a sequel, because I've worked on a lot of things, but this was very special and it was very different. And talking to you and, a lot of people out there who said it made me feel good. And I think that's what we all want right now.
Mm-hmm. All right, speaking to existence, a sequel. We want that too.
Yes.
We want that for you. Well, I thank you, Joyful, for your time. This was a lovely film. I really, truly enjoyed it. All of you looked beautiful. It was well shot, and the story was meaningful and relatable to a lot of people. And that particularly I enjoyed. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. And I am at Joyful Drake on all of my social medias.
For sure. We will definitely be keeping in touch with you.
Cool. Well, I'm so glad you liked the film. That means so much when I talk to my beautiful Black women and they're like, this made me feel good. Like, as an artist, like it just makes me know that what we do, it matters. So, and that's why.
Does.
Yeah. So thank you.
Thank you. Please keep going. Thank you so much for your time.
Okay. Bye.
Unthinkably good things, unthinkably good things. And they come in many forms and many packages, sometimes in tangible things, sometimes in feelings and people. When you think of unthinkably good things for Lance specifically, what comes to mind?
Unthinkably good things for Lance, for me. Life, just living my best life. I have unthinkably good things coming at me daily. It's my blessings. That's what it is for me. It's my family. It's my kids. Those are unthinkably good things for me. My career. I could go on and on, but yeah, it's the simple things in life.
I love that. I like the enthusiasm you had for that, because sometimes we become so overwhelmed with all the things that we forget about those good things. And I'm glad that this film exists to remind us of those. So with Andre, your character's name is Andre, and he's in a marriage, a wonderful, faithful marriage, but they seem to have, in the latter part of the relationship, have some communication. Things change when you're changing out of a career and into retirement and trying to find what that new life looks like between spouses. What would you say that Andre sees that his spouse doesn't see, and what he does, what blind spots he might have at this stage in their relationship?
I think, like all couples, they hit a tough spot. They're living outside of the bubble that they created for each other. The communication is off, the connection is off. But I feel like Andre with Risa, he's realized that, she's just got out of a career. She's recently retired and she's kind of trying to find her place in the world. And I think the beautiful thing of this story is it just paints the picture that it's never too late to start over, to reinvent yourself. And I feel like that's what Risa's doing. So she has all these projects and things that she wants to do. And it's kind of like Andre knows her, a little bit better than she may know herself. And it's kind of like he just wants her to focus, to hone in on one thing. So I feel like he's kind of giving her the space to do that. But for her, it's coming off as being distant or unsupportive. But he's just trying to direct her in a space where she can really choose the thing that's for her at this point of her life.
Mhm. When you're as talented as you are in acting and all the things that you've done throughout your career, do you have a person who does that for you? And what does that person have in common with Dre in terms of helping you hone in and stay focused? Or maybe you're a person who some people are just very focused and deliberate with their path.
Yeah, no, everybody gets off course sometimes, and I feel like for me, it's my wife. She's that brutally honest person that sits me down like, yo, you're all over the place right now. Focus. You know what I mean? And sometimes that's all it takes. So definitely for me, it's my wife. Like I said, she's brutally honest, and yeah, she's my rock. So and I feel like that's how it's supposed to be. Sometimes you have yes people all around, and they're feeding your head like, oh, you can do this, you can do that, but sometimes your significant other, they know you. They spend so much time with you, they know what's good for you, and sometimes my wife pulls me down like, this is what you should be doing. You're all over the place right now.
What I really enjoy is all of these characters are wonderful, vibrant, thriving. Even though they're experiencing some challenges professionally, we all do, even in the best of times. These are all vibrant, beautiful Black people. They're doing international things. They're business owners. They've got all of these wonderful things happening. How do these images continue to inspire people who are going to tune in and watch it and just see that there is something beyond all the trauma-laden content that can be produced about Black people in film and media?
Yeah, I mean, it's such a beautiful thing, what Hallmark is doing with this film, because it's normal people who are successful, who are Black, who are just thriving in their own right. And it's so many times where we go to the movies and we see all the negativity, but that's not what we're all about. There's other layers, and these are those layers that aren't often depicted through the media. So yeah, it's such a breath of fresh air to see a story like this. Beautiful Black successful women who have the space and means to travel across the country to another country and just thrive, and that's beautiful to see. And these are women and people that people really relate to. These are our stories. They should be told.
Absolutely. Please tell me about the marvelous Terri Vaughn, because I was so amazed to see that she was directing this. I've enjoyed her for many years from her previous work. She's so funny and she's so cool and down to earth. How was working with her as a director on this project?
Oh, it's amazing working with Terri. I mean, she's such a beautiful soul. Like you said, she's funny. She's everything that a director needs to be, and I love it because she's an actor. She's an actress, So usually when you cross to the lane of directors and you have that acting background, how to pull certain things out of actors, and you can relate a little bit more. So working with her, it's so easy and free, and she allows you to bring what you need to bring to the character, and if she needs to pull something out of you, she'll pull that too.
Mm-hmm. So what's going on? So tell us what's going on with Lance Gross. We've got this great film. What else can we look for Lance? We want to know what's going on so we can keep up and support you as well in your endeavors outside of this film.
Yeah, well, so we got this film. Also, we have another season of Tyler Perry's House of Pain that should be coming soon. So yeah, that's what I got for now. There'll be more to come.
Awesome. And lastly, like all of these ladies are inspired and they're taking risk and learning new things about each other and about themselves. What is something you've learned about yourself recently that maybe sparked a new idea or just gave you some tremendous insight into Lance and who he is at this stage in his life?
I would say, with this, the climate of the world, with COVID, the shutdown, I've noticed that I love home. I love home. I think when I'm home, I create. I started writing during the shutdown, so I've been, that creative bug is just, it's flowing, so that's my thing right now. I write every day. I'm writing scripts. I'm developing a project now. So that's what I found out about myself. Like I love home and to create. So you'll see me behind the scenes a lot more.
I love that. Same thing happened to me. I started gardening. It was supposed to be like just a little pastime. Next thing I knew, it was creating content and doing a garden show. I don't know how it happened. It just happens that way.
That's
So
awesome.
I feel the love for home. Well, I thank you, Lance, for your time. This is such a sweet film. And made me do some inner stock as well about doing things that make me happy and just thinking about those good things and intangible things. So thank you for your talent. And this was a great little film. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Take care.
Better shake your booties for black girl nerds. Better shake your booties for black girl nerds.